Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead and East Fork Christmas Tree Farms. We're setting up for the last day of sales. Barry's getting the fire going. Tommy, come on in here. Let's say Tommy's Barry's nephew. He's been working hard. 12-year-old. He's been cutting trees and doing a great job. So just wanted to let you see Tommy. These are the people here getting ready right now. Normally on a bigger weekend day, we'll have a 6 to 8 man crew, but we're gonna have a smaller crew today because we aren't even actually supposed to be officially open today. But we're going to sell a couple more trees, clean up, take the animals home. Today's video is going to be quick hitters though on things we did and didn't do, or should do, shouldn't do, maybe pointers to help you out, and maybe you can have some good suggestions for me. Number one, if you have rain gear, bibs and rain gear and it's a wet day, put them on before you get started. I made the mistake yesterday. We were setting up, it wasn't too wet at the moment, and we start setting up, and then customers start coming out and want help, and you start helping them, and then you get wet, and you get your clothing wet. And then once you get wet, yesterday was in the 30s and raining, terrible. I wish it would be colder and snow or warmer, but once you get wet, you're not drying out. So get the gear, and even if people show up, just say, give me a second, put this on. And I have a brimmed hat. I don't understand. Well, so people that live in rainy country, I don't know why you don't have a brimmed hat that's basically an umbrella sitting on your head. Mine happens to be leather. Actually, because I wear this hat every day at the Christmas Tree Farm, they're always like, go pay the guy in the cowboy hat or the leather hat. But there are other ways of doing it, but I believe in a brimmed hat. If you're in a wet climate, they have a nice hat that's called a Seattle sombrero. A lot of people are recommending to keep your head dry as well. This is one of the joys of Christmas tree farming in Western Washington. It was actually pretty nice not too long ago. Now it's kind of raining sideways. The wind's slowing down a little bit, so it's not sideways anymore. But the few people that are here are hiding out in the warming shed, and hopefully the weather will improve and we'll get some people back out on the farm. But if you're only open one weekend, you can't afford for the weather to come like this, so we might have to open up again if the weather's going to stay this way. So besides staying dry, and because once you get wet you won't dry out, one thing I've never been quite happy with in all the years we've done this is gloves. Everybody loves a good leather glove, but when it's dry, that's great. When it's really wet, these things get soaked and your hands are freezing and they get all slimy. We've tried other gloves that they advertise as waterproof work gloves. Haven't found any. If you have some good suggestions for someone that's going to be cutting Christmas trees in 38 to 42 degree rain and going to be doing it all day long and wants some work gloves to keep dry, if you have the answer, please let me know. Another thought while I'm waiting for these customers to come up is, if you're a small farm and you're thinking similar to what we are and you're thinking you're going to only be open on weekends, you need to realize that if the weather gets really bad, it's not really bad now, it's just drizzling, but it was pouring last night, and people are scared, get scared away if the weather's really bad like last weekend, and people just aren't going to come. And if you're putting all your eggs in the basket for the Thanksgiving weekend and the first weekend in December and the weather is horrible, you may have to extend your season a little bit. We extended ours because last weekend people got run off by the weather, but we did not open up the Thanksgiving weekend because I was at my son's wedding, and we don't want to sell that many trees because we're short on trees. We're going to be just about perfect after today to have enough left for next year and everything. Our inventory is building up, but you don't want to start late opening up, because if you do and then you get rained out or snowed out, then you're not going to be able to sell much. One of the other things to make your Christmas tree farm successful is traditions. One of the traditions we have is a petting zoo that kids come back and look forward to year after year. Also, we used to have pigs there, but I haven't been farming pigs for several years, and people come back, any pigs, and they're really disappointed. And actually, I think a few people quit coming when we quit having pigs. So we're probably going to do pigs again next year in the petting zoo. People love pigs. The other thing we've become known for is, I've heard a lot of people saying, is this the Black Lab farm, Dad? Is this the Black Lab farm? Because both Barry and Derek, who live on the property here, have Black Labs, and they're very friendly, and we keep them out here and people get to throw the ball for them and have fun with the Black Labs. We're building a tradition where people are expecting to see the Black Labs. We're actually considering making logos or ornaments with the Black Labs and some Christmas trees for next year. So do something to build a tradition on your farm.
farm.
Well, I'm just glad that you got the camera on now, so there's a berry sighting.
There's a berry sighting, yes, kind of like Sasquatch. Looks a little bit like him, and he's...
Sometimes we joke about, hey, there's a Barry sighting, and that's because Barry is a co-owner on this tree farm, but his family actually owns the land. And it's important, it's been beneficial for us to have basically 2 people in charge, 1 free to move about. I'm in charge of the crew, the shaking area, and taking payments, so I need to always be here. Barry helps a lot around here, helps guide and host guests, but he also is free to, when we need a tool, because it's his barn and his shop right here, he knows where the tools are. If something breaks down, if they need guidance, he's free to go do it. He also mixes the hot chocolate in his house and brings it out here. So he'll disappear for time, moments at a time, and that doesn't mean he's not working. Sometimes he's not, but it doesn't mean he's not working. It just means that he's going to take care of something and he's free to move about. Taking payments this year has been kind of a pain, and partly because they upgraded their system and I didn't take enough time to get trained on it, or don't really need training, but I have a Square app on my phone, and I've always had the card reader that we slide in here and can slide the card. This year they upgraded us to you could do tap to pay. I haven't used my card reader since last Christmas season, so I brought it back out, tested it at home before we opened up the opening day, tapped my card on top, just held the card right here. Payment went smoothly. I thought, okay, great, I have this figured out. Well, I get out here and very few people's cards are working. I don't know if it's because of the temperature or what, but it is not working. And so then I put the card reader in and I slide, but because I have tap to pay, it doesn't want to read the card reader. And then I'm sliding an average of 25 times before I get it to work. One thing that we have found in the last couple days though is people that have their card on Apple Pay or Google Pay and they just tap their phone to the top of my phone, instantly works every time, and so the payment goes quickly. So don't take lessons from me on how to take payments, just know that whatever you're doing, make sure you work through all the kinks before opening day and you don't have a line of people standing here and you're just swiping trying to get it. One thing that's worked really well, with the technology, everybody's got Venmo. I just put my Square on that you can scan and then pay. And so when people's cards aren't working, hey, we'll send Venmo to you. And that works great too. So people always want to know how sales were. Sales were down this year, intentionally so. We didn't open up Thanksgiving weekend, which is the big weekend around here now. And then also we didn't put as many signs out, didn't advertise as much. Didn't do too much to drive people out here because we're still trying to hold back enough trees that we can really take off in the future years. We think next year we're going back to Thanksgiving weekend and right through the first couple weeks of December because we're going to have enough trees in the following years, but we tried to keep sales from getting too big while still making a profit this year. When we realized we might be a little bit lower than we wanted to be, I put a Facebook ad out. I have a business page on Facebook. And it's really nice, like you can boost your post and you could just slide your thumb, like you're willing to pay $30 or $50. And I paid $50 for boosting the post for 3 days before one of the weekends that we were open. And it says it got the message out to 2,000 people in the area that don't normally follow the page. And I did have people coming out here that were new to the farm and said, how did you find us? And they said, oh, there was an ad on Facebook. So that part of it was really nice. It doesn't cost a lot, $30-50, whatever, that's a half or a third of a tree. So I know we got several sales from the Facebook ad. One thing that I'm not happy with though with Facebook is I don't know if I missed the fine print or they're trying to charge me for something that wasn't in there, but I got a message that I needed to pay for outstanding payments, and I noticed that they had in a link there that for everybody that contacted me from the boosted post, they were charging $8 for anybody that just emailed me, and that's completely unacceptable. I won't be paying it. I'll be talking to them about that. But I'm not selling cars here. I'm selling Christmas trees. So having a business page on Facebook is beneficial to get stuff out. Being able to boost the post is good, but read the fine print before you click send money. But I've very clearly put on there I'm willing to pay up to $50, and when they sent me a $120 bill, not that that's a ton of money anyway, I wasn't too happy. One of the other things is specifically this year we've noticed made a difference is presentation of the trees. Obviously the trees are what they are, But we had a lot of trees much taller than this where we tied the tops. We still had the sticks in the top, and they were tall enough that we needed to get a ladder to get them out. And we left several of the sticks in there thinking people will realize, you know, we cut the tree down. We did cut down a lot of trees and then just cut the sticks out after the tree was down. But there was a number of people that saw the stick up there and they're like, there's something wrong with that tree. I don't want that tree. Well, I don't want a stick in there. And they didn't understand or didn't visualize the fact that we'll just cut that out and the top is going to stay the same. And so after the first day, we went back out with some guys and made sure all the sticks that we missed cut and the ones that were higher were taken out of the trees. On the opposite end of having to take the sticks out and making things look nice is one of the beautiful things about a U-cut Christmas tree farm is some of the trees that you don't think are great, your customer thinks is great, and they take you know, you have a beautiful, what you think is a beautiful tree right here, and they want to take this tree that you thought you were going to cut out and throw on the fire. So that's a wonderful thing. Everybody has their different tastes, and you don't have to shear every tree to look exactly like a number one.